whether you're a athlete, whether you're working a desk job, whether you're pumping gas, it doesn't matter what it is. Know why you're doing your job. Your
Man, that's
job is
good.
to help the person that you come across, because that's what everybody's job is. As actors, we're not only just getting paid to do what we love, we're getting paid to make you feel what you came to feel. If you came and you want to see a rom-com, we're going to make sure you feel that romantic lovey-dovey feeling, and we're going to make sure you laugh your butt off. If you came to see a superhero movie, we're going to make sure you get that vibe. You know what I mean? So just know your why and know why you are doing what it is that you do, because you will never understand the lives that you will touch, and you never know how far it'll get you. So that's what I would.
But it's only one when it feels like all is falling. How do I reach out when I feel I'm all alone? When I feel all alone. How do I move on when you're the one I put my trust in? All you require me is only just believe, just believe, just believe. I'm covered by your grace again. All washed up and cleansed from sin. No longer will the devil win. You gave me victory.
Welcome to the Art of Rebounding, where setbacks become setups and your bounce back is your breakthrough. I'm your host, Lefty Williams, former pro athlete, motivator, and believer in second chances. Each week, we'll dive deep into stories and strategies built on positioning, persistence, and purpose to help you rise, rebuild, and reclaim your next chapter. Now, this isn't just a regular podcast. No, it is not. It is your opportunity to rise again, and this time with purpose. Listen, this episode is special to me because I have, as you can see, let's go to the wide. I have my family with me. We're missing my better half, Shanifa Williams, who's behind the scenes today. We love you. Shout out to the love of my life and the woman responsible for the three of you. This segment is important because we want to talk about the process of getting into the business. Each of you have been on the show individually. Now collectively talk about what does this process looks like for you, Kiara. You've been really punching through the writing side of things, really writing and developing and developing and developing and developing. CJ, you have too, and your writing process has begun early as of 2025, but now being a part of a huge horror movie, that kind of took off as well. And we'll get into that too. And then with you, EJ, getting an opportunity to EP a show and still work on something that's up and coming of your own developing. I want to just talk about a lot of those things and talk about how easy it is. Is it easy? Is it tough? Is it this? Is it that? I had Pooch Hall on the show, and Pooch was just giving a lot of kudos to each of you on process and hanging in there and all of those things. But let's talk about what has that process been like for each of you with this new found project that you got going on. Kiara?
Writing has always naturally come easy to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of more this issue that I have is trying to figure out the way I write and the way other people necessarily like to read, or what it is that they like,
Mm-hmm.
is what I kind of have an issue with trying to figure out. Because especially with the most recent project, at the beginning of it, I was kind of very determined to do it the way that I wanted to do it, because it's well, I like it, so it's kind of well, why shouldn't anybody else like it, rather than what people naturally want to see. People naturally want to see drama and a little bit of chaos, especially within a lot of times school settings, which I don't always really like writing, because I feel like it's messy and it can really mess with your head a lot. And it can also be a little bit unrealistic, but then I have to remember that in some kind of way that is realistic for some people. So that's something that I have to work on.
So you're you're more of a conscious writer.
Yeah.
But you've taken a lot of liking to sci-fi.
Yes.
And so part of that, are you able to maintain that type of a focus when writing sci-fi? Because I feel no.
It's really ironic because I don't like science.
Okay.
but I found a love for biology in some kind of way and astrology. So although I don't really like science, I enjoy writing the impossible, because when you're doing stuff like Star Wars, Star Trek, well, Star Trek is a little bit more realistic on the science part, but you can just say like, ooh, it explodes, and no one really is going to question it because it's science in a way. If when it's sci-fi, you can make things explode for absolutely no reason and not always have an indefinite answer for it, which is my issue with science, because I'm like, well, why did it do this? Well, how did you get that calculation? And especially since math isn't my strong suit, and if I don't understand it, sometimes I have an issue with that being the why, especially if you can't give me an answer for it. So writing sci-fi is a whole lot easier for me because I don't have to give an answer for every little detail of what it is that I'm writing.
Okay, got it. And I want to get into the novels and stuff that you started to write to in a moment. So I want to come back to that. EJ, can you talk a little bit about, I know we can't go into too many details, but can you talk a little bit about your process with your writing and your developing and the things that you started to pick up?
Well, for me, one thing I learned very, very early when it comes to writing is I'm not a fan of sitting down and trying to write this, that, and the third and trying to figure out the stories. I love stories. I love storytelling, and I love, a good read, which eventually would be on screen. But I'm not the person who can sit down and write, okay, I'm gonna write this, and I'm gonna write this, I'm gonna write this. But as a visionary still, you kind of see the direction you want something to go. And unfortunately, you can't get that direction unless you take the steps of writing how you want it to go. So the writing process definitely teaches patience on a whole different level, in my opinion, especially with the sci-fi thing. Even with the Netflix project we're doing right now with Stranger Things, that's the epitome of sci-fi right now. So just sitting down, reading stuff like those and reading the different cadences of how you still can tell the story and get what you want the audience to see, and just breaking down different techniques and things like that. So it's teaching patience for sure.
Okay. I want to come back to that Stranger Things too in a second. So remind me of that. I hope everyone's enjoying the show. But listen, I need for you to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel. Please do it for your boy, Harold Lefty Williams. Now back to the show. CJ, you decided that you wanted to get into like developing things. Can you please tell me and tell the listeners and the viewers where did that come from? Because you really like every day, or if not every day, at least a couple times a week, you were at the laptop working, what made you fall into something like that?
I think for me, the process even comes down to acting. Even if I get auditioned, I feel like, oh yeah, I like that. And it's not like a fit for me. I feel like it started because when I write, I can write character how I act, or how Kiara acts, or how EJ acts, or how you act. I just base it around like everyday life or family.
Okay. How was that process for you, learning how to develop what it was that what you were doing? Okay, no, this is how I write. Here's how I do a deck. Here's how I do, a script. Oh, this is how you actually write it. What was that whole process for you? Because I don't think that your average 12-year-olds are out there, working on decks and working on scripts or learning how to do those things in a proper form to be able to see the things that they want out of their life come into fruition.
I think for me, it was fun, but it was also challenging because you have to have, like EJ said, you have to have patience to actually sit there and get it done. But it could also be very fun for you because you can just you can be sitting there and say, oh, I got an idea, and you can just sit there and just start typing it out.
What are some of the challenges did you find challenging for yourself when
I'm writing? Sometimes some things I find challenging is just the stage directions for it. Like when I'm trying to if I'm writing the scene down, I'm like, what are they doing? What's gonna happen? That's the challenging part for me.
Trying to figure out the creativity part for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, but that's also a part of the journey, so that's pretty cool, and that's what I like for all of you with writing. getting locked in. And I think it actually probably came from the standpoint of us having you read a certain amount of books per year. I think it was like, how many books do we have y'all reading every summer? Like
Kids book
100,
like 60, 150 by the end of the year, but
But-
probably about 60 during the summer,
60 during the
Yeah.
summer.
something like that.
Well, we
when
got
we
a
were first developing the skills to read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And then you came to school reading. You came to kindergarten reading on the first grade level, and I think that attributed to a lot of, you know, that.
yeah, the skill, the comprehension skills and things like
Mhm.
that. I think another thing people don't understand is the whole thing is still an art. At the end of the day, it takes skill and it takes creativity to entertain, to write. And sometimes people can pull on the craziest part of their minds to get things out. Best example is, Harry Potter, or like I said, with Stranger Things. Sometimes you'll look at something and you'll be like, this is gold, but you'll sit down and you'll hear that idea and think it's the craziest thing in the world. And it takes skill and it takes a lot of creativity to be able to make it into what they become. And that's what makes the whole process of writing and even just film as a whole so special.
What did you like, and what did you like most about writing a novel, and why? What made you decide I'm gonna sit down and write a novel? Like, what made you take on that challenge? Because you were in the middle of you had just finished developing another project that you have been working on since the 7th grade, and it's finally to a different space. We've never seen this type of thing before in this industry. I don't want to go too far into it just yet, because it's it's still in the shopping stage. But the this part of it no one's ever seen. So for you to say, okay, I think I'm just gonna take time and go write a novel now. Where'd that come from? Because you didn't talk to me about it. I don't remember you saying anything to mommy about it. Did Kiara say anything to you guys about it? So like, what made you say, I'm about to do this?
It's the novel that you were speaking of is actually something that I started working on in the 7th grade, right before the other project.
Oh, okay.
It started off as a short story, but I was writing. My English teacher was like, every page you add on, you get 10 points extra credit. And I actually had it would technically be considered an A++ in her class. And she ended up sitting me down and saying, hey, I can't give you any more points because it would the system wouldn't allow her to. But I realized that I really liked writing, and she had encouraged me to just, although she can no longer grade them, she'd look at it, but she'd encouraged me to like try and like format it out into, I don't think she meant like a book to like publish, but more of like something that you could just write out for yourself. But I had picked it back up around my 10th grade year, when we had moved to Georgia to film The Wonder Years. I didn't really know what it is that I wanted to do because I didn't want to sit in the house all day and just do nothing. I felt like I needed to be more productive, so I started rewriting and editing the book. I ended up not really liking it as much as I did when I was little. It was a great idea and I liked the concept, but I was like, this is something that is more of something you would see for like a second type book. So I completely started over. And I have the novel that I have now. But as I'm writing and reading it, it made me, the concept isn't like Harry Potter, but it's kind of like something that J.K. Rowling, it's something that when you read it, it's kind of like, oh, okay. And it's not something that I feel like you wouldn't really think of. Because me personally, I would have never thought that there was, with the whole Harry Potter world and concept of like, oh, there's a whole wizard world or a whole other family. I want people when they read my work or when they grow up within their childhood, there's just certain books that if you didn't read growing up, people would be like, oh my gosh, you didn't read Percy Jackson,
Right.
You didn't read Harry Potter. I want when they read my stuff to be within that list of things. Does that make sense?
No, it does. You want to be great, and that's exactly what we want. Someone is trying to figure out how can they get into this business. You know, this business is, you got to have a lot of grit, a lot of thick skin, which you know this. You know, you all know this. Listen, I have a brand new book that's getting ready to come out. It's called The Art of Rebounding. It's about positioning, persistence, and purpose. It's going to change your life forever. It's going to help you bounce back, and you're going to be able to reclaim your next chapter. Join the waiting list today at theartofrebounding.com. And when you get to do it as a family, which I definitely didn't plan that, but I'm glad that we are able to do it as a family. It ebbs and flows, right? But what do you tell someone who is looking to do this? Because CJ, your success came before EJ's, and then Kiara, your success came before EJ's, and then EJ, your success came and kind of like, if this was Pac-Man, kind of like swallowed up the rest. And then it was like, okay, well, time out, hold on. And then you went back to what you knew best, what you are the absolute, where's my camera? You're the absolute best at, you know, hands down, right?
I don't even know what he's about to say.
I'm talking about voiceover.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, like it's just so special watching you work. You know, it was, you know, and then that began to keep taking a success of his own. And then you come along and get a chance to work with some very talented people, you know, Tim Allen. You get an opportunity to do Abbott, which we were grateful for. Obviously, you did Wonder Years with your brother, and then you did the voiceover for yourself. And then here comes the horror movie. After you weren't really big, people don't know this. EJ is the horror person. He likes horror movies. Kiara likes horror movies. CJ is like me. He don't like horror movies.
Yeah.
And that's not,
I don't.
that's not like plant, hey, don't do horror. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not the case. He just does not like horror movies. And the process, and I'm going somewhere with this, the process with this is, and you can stay wide for a second, the process with this is, it comes in, we look at it, we figure out, do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like what? Hey, you have this. Sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's, hey, this is the producer, that's the director, this is a great opportunity. Read the script, tell me if you like it.
Yeah.
Right? Horror movie comes in, which I so desperately wanted CJ to do, right? And of course, it was a great project because Lee Daniels had already, he was involved in it, and he's a great director and a great producer, and he had already given us an opportunity with Wonder Years. I wanted CJ to do this project, right? But people don't know, like, CJ does not like horror movies. And what did he say to you? Were you scared, or like, what was it?
I was saying that some things that were in it, I was just
You was just like too scared.
Yeah, it was just like,
and I was trying to explain like the process, like, yo, it's no different than on set. Okay, I ain't cut, like, but he was still so young.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, he didn't really understand it. Fast forward a few years later, another horror project comes, and he still was a little afraid to do it, but he was you were a lot older now.
I was a lot at ease because of the type of horror film it is.
Yeah. You were like, you know what? I can do this. It was more like a kid-friendly, what's the word we say?
I wouldn't even call it kid-friendly because the movie is still scary.
What would you say? Like
that movie is scary. That movie's scary.
No, I'm saying like from a Friday Night at Freddy's type.
Five Nights at Freddy's is scary too. So that's But what I would say, to the point of what you're saying, I get what you're saying, and one thing that I would say with that is too, is one of the things that we always say is just expect the unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the one thing that he never would have wanted to do is what gave him a huge opportunity.
That's true.
And for me as well, when we came into the business, we knew that, we wanted to do all different aspects, but drama was what we really wanted to hit hard on. And then my breakout role was a comedy.
Right.
So you just never really know what's going to get you through the door. And you have to pay attention to the signs that are there, because we never would have known that he didn't do that horror movie. And then when he does his breakout thing, it's the same thing that he ran from when he was younger.
Right.
So sometimes you just never know what that outcome is going to be. But to the scary point, no, those examples were great, but his movie's still scary.
Yeah, I see that. So what would you tell somebody? Jump in, because I want to bring this to a close soon. What would you tell somebody? We're going to start with you first, CJ. What would you tell a kid who they're super talented, but super duper afraid to get going? And I'm going to say that because I'll give you this example. You were an amazing basketball player from team, little big shot, Steve Harvey, out of there. But when we play, you'd be letting the defense dictate where you go rather than, you know what, I'm going to show you how this going to go, right? Whereas your brother EJ is like, yeah, I'm about to show you where it's at, and there's somebody at home doing just that. They're super talented and could destroy the competition at will, but they're allowing the surroundings, they're allowing what's happening to dictate how it goes. Now, eventually you overcame that and was like, oh yeah, no, let me show you what's up. You know what I mean? What would you say to that kid who's worried about, how it's going to go? That's your camera. What you going to tell them?
I mean, I think when you let people like dictate what you do, I'm gonna use this quote from one of my favorite movies. You just gotta do your own thing. You have to just find your own path and just like go through it however you like. You still gotta take direction, but you still have to like bring yourself to anything.
Listen, I have a brand new book that's getting ready to come out. It's called The Art of Rebounding. It's about positioning, persistence, and purpose. It's going to change your life forever. It's going to help you bounce back, and you're going to be able to reclaim your next chapter. Join the waiting list today at theartofrebounding.com. That's good. What would you say, Kiara?
I'm sorry
I don't want to interrupt, but you got put in time out because you grew, right?
Which, looking back at it, wasn't too bad. Like, it sucked, but I've come to the realization that life just sucks. But just because life sucks and has its moments doesn't necessarily mean that all of your life has to suck.
Wait, you really believe life sucks?
Sometimes, yeah.
I think it ebbs and flows. We can't have the good without the bad.
Well, that's why I said sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes it's not going to be like all sunshines and rainbows. Which is why I was really glad that once I got older, I started getting more into drama aspects of life, even though it's as chaotic as it was. It made me realize that sometimes things aren't going to go your way. And sometimes you just have to create the opportunities that someone else is going to refuse to give you. And
like somebody we know, Marlon Wayne said what? He said that he had to, when they don't put you in this and they don't put you in that, and I know I'm probably messing this up, but he said, that's why we did, Scary Movie. That's why we did this. That's why we did Wayne's Brothers. That's why, you know what I mean? And so that's cool. I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish. I just want to add that.
I think that you have to go through life, make sure you find those good few friends that really will stick through you, and just try and do the best that you can. And if the writing aspect of the entertainment isn't your thing, keep pushing forward. Or what I think is me and my best friend, we do call it a pull at Adam Sandler, or pull at Adam. Adam Sandler, he is very successful, but with no matter what, he always uses the same few people in anything that he does. And sometimes you just have to do that. Sometimes you have to give out opportunities, like what Robin Williams would do. He would make sure that the homeless people in the area would have some type of job. And that's what I strive to do. You have to just keep pushing forward, and if not, create the opportunity for yourself. Try and force the people to see you for who you are.
That's good. That's good. You sound like your mom.
Why, thank you.
That's good. You sound like your mom. EJ, professor, the floor is yours. What do you say to somebody who's looking and they're feeling like this? Because you've seen a lot of it. And I came to a point, I said to you, I said, you've done enough. You're now waiting. You remember I said this to you? I said, you're now waiting, man. You're here. You're waiting. And this was when you were, you can explain that and then answer.
Yeah. Well, you said that probably about, I think I was 10 or 11, one of the two. I think I was 11. But what I would just say is I would say know your why. A lot of times as an actor, especially for myself, there were times where I was going through the motions and, you know, just because you memorize something doesn't mean that you have it down packed. Entertainment is a lifestyle. It is hard for people to entertain somebody for a certain amount of time. You know, stand-up comedians, they got to get up there, they got to entertain you for 2 hours, right? They got to make you laugh for 2 hours. You know, you going to see the Avengers, they got to have you hooked for sometimes 3 hours, you know? And so for me, when you understand that when you're on that camera, and this is just the entertainment aspect of it, the pressure is on, and I hate to even call it pressure, but that's what it is, you know? As an actor, we're responsible for if you leave that theater or turn that TV off crying. We're responsible for if you turn that TV off laughing. We are responsible if you turn that TV off mad. Any feelings that you feel so deeply, we're responsible for that. And whether you're an athlete, whether you're working a desk job, whether you're pumping gas, it doesn't matter what it is. Know why you're doing your job. Your job is to help the person that you come across, because that's what everybody's job is. As actors, we're not only just getting paid to do what we love, we're getting paid to make you feel what you came to feel. If you want to see a rom-com, we're going to make sure you feel that romantic lovey-dovey feeling, and we're going to make sure you laugh your butt off. If you came to see a superhero movie, we're going to make sure you get that vibe. You know what I mean? So just know your why and know why you are doing what it is that you do, because you will never understand the lives that you will touch, and you never know how far it'll get you. So that's what I would say.
That's good. I think that's great. Let me say this. I'm super duper duper proud of each of you. All of you have a piece of mom, a piece of dad, and a piece of your own self in you. I think that when it's all said and done, you're going to be super duper proud that you held on, right? I'm going to tell you what my pastor said to me when I was a kid. He said, how you doing? And I said, well, I'm hanging in there. And he said, people who hang tend to fall.
Excuse me.
Bless. He said, I want you to hold on. He said, get up there and hold on. And so I say to you, no matter what it is that you're going through, I don't care what it is, reach up and hold on.
Yeah.
Reach up and hold on. Les Brown, motivational speaker Les Brown, said that if you fall, try to fall on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. And that's really, really, really important. You got to hold on. This is why I do it. Williams' legacy. Williams' legacy. You know? Williams' legacy. Williams' legacy. My grandfather meant the world to me. Still do to this day, which you all know this, so I'll spare that story. But it comes and ties back into what EJ said is, what is your why? Why? What is it? Where are you at? Why? Why are we doing this? Where are we at with this? And I think that if you hold on to what it is, if you dare to dream, I mean, you really, really dare to dream, that anything is possible. And you gotta aim really high. You gotta aim high, because if you miss the mark, at least you fall back on the clouds, which is still pretty high off the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you can't be afraid to go, you know? And that's the grounding and understanding of what mommy teaching you and what daddy teaching you. You'll take and you'll run with it and do it for yourself. I hope that somebody today, as we go back wide, I hope somebody today is listening to and taking what I'm saying to heart, that they're saying that, you know what? I like that family. I like that family. Because what you see is what you get. I'm super hard on my family, but I'm even harder on myself. And so is my wife. I think my wife gets to be the buffer just because she's mom and she's supposed to. With me, I'm like, yeah, we ain't ever doing that again. Whatever that was, take it out back and shoot it, because we need to go 100% and get this right, you know? But you guys are doing that, all of you. And I'm proud of you. Very super duper duper proud of you. You understand? And I promise you, the best is yet to come. Thank you for being on today.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's it for today's episode of The Art of Rebounding. Listen, the fall isn't what defines you. It's how you rise that writes your story. Whether you're bouncing back from your last chapter or you're learning how to rise again, know this. You were made for more. You were built for more. You were built to bounce back. All right? You just got to keep pushing with purpose, because your rebound, it's not just en route. It's here. It's here. Usually I'd say your rebound is not en route. It's already in motion. But I'm telling you today that it's here. It's 2026 and it's here. Just hold on. Hold on. All right? Give me what you got left. Just keep pushing. Okay? Keep pressing. All right? All right? It's already in motion. Follow us on social media on all platforms at The Art of Rebounding, at Lefty Williams 42. I'm always down to hear about your comebacks, and I want to see how you're able to bounce back. Don't forget, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And always remember, dare to dream.